Hey Zane, this is Miss Falkenberg. I thought I'd do a little bit of review of what we're going over in class today, just so you don't feel too overwhelmed. Let me get some slides up like this. We talked about two scenarios that we talked about basically in chapter 2 of constant velocity and constant acceleration. With constant velocity, you had this equation. Velocity, basically average, right, is the change in position or displacement over time. That's our standard formula. As far as constant acceleration, we had three equations. V equals V initial plus acceleration times time. We had our position, final position, initial position, plus V sub 0 t plus 1/2 at squared. And then we had this position, not that, 2a x minus x of 0. Okay? So basically, those were from one-dimensional motion. And now we're taking it to two-dimensional motion, which from yesterday we talked about. It's no longer x's, right? Now we're using delta r over delta t. And folks in class were like, why is it delta r? And I was like, hey, remember it was about a position A? Position A is so far away, a radius away from the origin. So that's what we've got for r and why they use r for the position vector. When we go into the constant acceleration, this is when all of these, although that turns into an r, and this turns into an r, these all become our vectors. So r minus r0 vector, and so on. And the reason they're vectors is they cover two dimensions. So if we remember, the r vector in unit vector notation had an rx in the I notation plus ry in the I notation, which when I showed you the book, which let me pull that up, they have made those equations in the book look wacky. And I showed them the equation in the book in class, and I said, look how wacky these are. Essentially, what I'm saying is, look at those equations. Those are the velocity final equals velocity initial plus acceleration times time. Each one of those is saying I can break it into the x component and the y component, right? And then they're basically grouping these together. When you add these vectors, you get the final velocity. Same thing with this position vector. You can do it in the x direction, y direction. They've got it in the I and the j direction, right? And ultimately, get back to notation that we're familiar with. So 4, 8, 4, 9 are items that we're going to use to help solve. So let me see if I can go through an example, maybe, that might help you get started. Okay? It says a particle starts from the origin at t equals 0 with initial velocity having an x component, right, of 20 meters per second and a y component of 15 meters per second. So that's a velocity vector, right, with a 20 I, right, minus 15 j. The particle moves in the xy plane with an x component, right, of acceleration only given, right, so that's an x component, right, by 4, right, so 4i, basically plus 0j, but that goes away. Okay, so you could basically designate it as a of x and b equal to 4, or 4i, and that would be the x component. Now, in the book, it has the questions. I apologize for not having those. But it basically asks for what's the velocity, final velocity in terms of time. So give me a function in terms of time. What I do is I go and break it up into x's and y's. It says there's acceleration in the x, but we can do it either way. I have initial position, final position, initial velocity in the x, velocity in the x, and that's the final, acceleration in the x, and time. So I want something in terms of time. Initial position, they say at the origin. I don't know my final. Initial velocity is 20 meters per second. That's 0 meters. Acceleration is 4. If I want an equation in the x direction of velocity in terms of time, I've got my velocity, right, in the x equals Vox plus AXT, and that's just adjusting that equation into the x direction. So this V of x in terms of time, right, equals 20 plus 4t, and I've got my function in terms of time. On the y side, I can fill in the same stuff, right? VOY, VO, acceleration in the y, and our time. Initial position is here, initial velocity is negative 15. It's constant, so my final velocity is 15, right, because these are the same. Acceleration equals 0 meters per second. My velocity in terms of time, the velocity equals delta x over delta t. So velocity in terms of time, right, well, velocity in terms of time is just going to be that negative 15 since it's constant. So v of y equals 15 meters per second. I apologize, the negative. They also say develop an equation, develop an equation for position versus time. So I'm going to use my x direction, and then I'll use my y direction. And that position equation, and I'll do this in red, right, is this, in the x direction, x of x equals x of 0 plus v sub 0 xt plus 1/2 at squared. So x in terms of time, right, starting position 0 plus 20 t plus, if I put the 4 in there, right, I get 2t squared. And then as far as position for the y, right, y of t, I can use the same equation, right, y of 0 plus y initial, or velocity of y initial in the t, plus 1/2 at squared. That goes to 0 because acceleration is 0. That's 0. Y in terms of time, right, equals a negative 15 t. So I've got my position, right, in terms of time. And the interesting thing is, if you were to look at the velocity in terms of time, and you were to integrate each one of those equations, you could work backward to the function for position versus time. Anyways, I hope that helps you. I hope you had a good time at STA, and I'll see you on Friday.